or two posts every day. Three. All very good, all very interesting. It's almost like NBC News on LinkedIn.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Mustafa Rizk. I am a deputy survey manager with Parsons Corporation, Saudi Arabia. I am involved in Makkah projects. I have been working 7 years before UAE in a very project there, like for example, Dubai Metro, Bab Jumeirah, and Tiger Woods Golf Course. And for also in Abu Dhabi, I work as a survey project manager in Abu Dhabi municipality. Now, my presentation will answer one question. Why we need a land surveyor in such a business which we are talking about? So, the answer you will consider after I finish my representation. Land surveying approach for designing sustainable drainage infrastructure, the basic principle and techniques. Here we will talk about 3 points. First is determining the requirement for drainage infrastructure, which we will talk about surveying concepts and data types. Second is identifying the measurement method to maintain data required for the drainage network design. Third is exploring the challenge to maintain an accurate as-built drawing for drainage infrastructure. Virtually in every site development, whether buildings or infrastructure improvement, we need the services and the expertise of land surveying. Land surveying is provide special information which is necessary to play as the base of the competent design. The cooperation with the land surveyor from all parties, like designer, contractor, allied engineers, is help the project run more smoothly. Also contractors need a guidance from the land surveyor to ensure that he excavate and install the pipe in the proper horizontal and vertical location. Land surveyor should create accurate, precise, complete, and timely survey data, which will be helped during design, construction, and operation. Determining the requirement for drainage infrastructure surveying concept and data types, we'll talk about 2 points, the basic surveying concepts and surveying data types. We can summarize the importance of surveying concept because of their importance to 5 elements. First is reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is the first and the most important step in the surveying procedures work, where surveyor can decide after details and accurate reconnaissance that which techniques, instrumentation will be required to perform the work and to complete the task economically and to maintain the accuracy specification. Control point or control network, not just a reference framework for the project or for the land which we are going to make a survey or graphic survey to design, but also it will be useful to make adjustment, what we call it horizontal adjustment, and also to establish a major control point which will be larger numbers with a short distance with a low order accuracy to help the contractor later on to perform his construction properly and easily. Errors is common or determined in all surveying measurement procedures, and It is like a constant battle should be used by the surveyor to minimize the effect of this error. Independent check. Independent check means that surveyor not only implement it on the field data, but also in the office work for the surveyor. He should be sure that he's using the proper way for measuring and checking, using the measuring more than once, and using a different ways or different method for the things. Commensurate accuracy, it is advised to the all measurement, even angles or distance or elevations should be maintained for all elements in the same degree. Survey data types. What we got from the surveyor, or what we need from the surveyor to provide to us, or the output of the survey data which we will get from the surveyor. First, we will go to the control point, which will be the main base. We will build everything on it in the project, starting from the design, construction, and operation on site. This is a fixed control point. It will have main control point and minor control point for each project. Profile. Profile also is very important for any project, depending on difference in levels or grading, like what we are talking about now of the drainage network. Cross-sectioning. Cross-sectioning is defined as a small segment of the profile. Digital trade modeling, or what we are calling DTM. DTM means building a mathematical model for a portion of Earth's surfaces. Contour, of us know the contour lines. Contour lines is like imaginary lines connecting points which have equal elevations. Relative measurement, we are talking about something is showing the differential of elevation without considering any elevation data. Second point is identifying measurement method to maintain data required for the drainage network. We have horizontal methods and vertical methods. Regarding the horizontal methods is doing in the topographic survey. Why we need the topographic survey? Topographic survey is presenting or gathering all the natural ground features with the main features or main structure on the ground which we are going to construct our project or to design our network. Horizontal methods, before we are doing a topographic survey, we should have a good network, control point network, whether it is main point or minor point, and that can be maintained by three methods. First is traversing, where we are using a total station which is considering from the ground survey, or triangulation, which we are using a satellite survey depending on GPS, or combination of both methods. Because there are basically here almost of the people using the high technology for this one, which is GPS, which is depending on satellite signal. But some places like high-rise building, beside high-rise building, or in the congested area, GPS cannot be worked. So we are using a total station and combine between the both methods. Vertical methods, usually we have to determine the difference in level or considering the elevations in most projects, which is depending on computing volume or determining grading like road, work, streams, creek, wadi, everything. And also where we need to have contour lines or profiles, cross-sectioning, and For the vertical methods, we have the factors to be considered in selecting field method, how we can decide which method will be applicable for our case or for our sites, and vertical differences listed. The factors to be considered before selecting any field methods is depending on map scale and accuracy, contour interval, type of terrain modeling, people and equipment available, existing control points, extent of area to be mapped, and type of the project. Vertical differences methods, it can be output in 5 elements: profile, which we are determining center line or baseline reference line we can call, and divided this line to distance, starting from the last station market. Distance we are calling plus distance, and it depends on the area. For example, in the urban area, we are making it as 20 meters. In rural area, we are taking it at 25 meters. Cross-sectioning, it is a representation of graphic surface of the ground which you are going toward, and basically it takes the right elevations in the right angle from this reference line which we have determined in the profile before. Digital terrain modeling. Digital terrain modeling is as sets of triangles. Each corner of these triangles is showing a position of the ground with elevation. And this data can be taken as a spot elevation on the ground or as break lines elements. At the end of the day, we should all compute to a digital terrain modeling, which we are calling detail. Contour, as we talked before, contour lines is a imaginary line connecting all points which we have equal elevations, and this is very useful to be built a digital terrain modeling, and also to compute the area, volume, or calculating the grades in such a project which we are talking about. Relative measurement is the same, which where we can determine the differential of elevations between two elements or many elements without relating to any elevation data. This is an example from the vertical, horizontal and vertical accuracy. Vertical accuracy requirement for DTM visual or for the creating a terrain modeling. This is based on DOT in Abu Dhabi. Exploring the challenge to maintain an accurate as-built drawings for drainage infrastructure. Actually, me as a professional surveyor, we have a very big challenge to maintain the accurate and details and timely surveying data to provide it to our designer or our construction team. Here, in some of Arabian countries, using different coordinate systems. Like for example, here in Saudi Arabia, we are using NGN or NLAT coordinate system and WGS84 World Geodetic system. In Abu Dhabi also, we have using before Nahrawan system and WGS84 coordinate system, which is making confusing for the construction people on site, and also for making confusing when we are preparing as-built drawing, which is very important for the decision maker and designer and maintenance people later on. So my advice is we have to have a unique or a uniform coordinate system for whole country, and to maintain all drawing, at least we have to show or indicate in the drawing that this drawing is drawn by NLAT coordinate or WGS84 coordinate, because if you are comparing the number, you cannot find any difference. So you cannot determine that whether this MLAT or WJ74. And unfortunately, the difference between both coordinate system is 200 meters. So it means that if we did a mistake, we can locate our project in somewhere else. Using imprecise control point benchmark. This practice is depending on the first point, because once we have different methods, once we have a different authority which is responsible to fix the control point on site, then we will have a difference in procedures or to adjust the quality and the accuracy of the control point. I will give an example. In Mecca, the DOT fixing a control point based on WJS84 coordinate system. Amana is fixing the control points based on NGN Ain Al coordinate system, which is making confusing. Moreover, which is making the issues more worse, is we don't have one conversion procedures. We don't have one parameter to use. So it will be common for everybody can use this parameter to change from NLR coordinate to WJS84 coordinate. Everyone have his own parameter which is comes in the end is one contractor working in one project need to connect with other contractor project, it will not match together, which is making very complicated, and we have already this problem in Mecca, honestly speaking. Lack of centralized availability of data, information. So many times we are looking for, as per the drawing for some project has been done before, we need a proper data, we need a proper coordinates, we need a proper elevations, we need to know the history of the map which we have, how it is done, which techniques, which methods. Also for the control point, we can see the control point, third order accuracy is fixing it as a truss plate in the pavement, but we do not know if when it will have a maintenance. How about the stability? It is good, still good to use, it is accurate or not. We don't have all these data centralized. It means that if you are looking for one project, you have to work, you have to search in so many sources and so many authorities, so many places, which make it very hard. In Abu Dhabi, we have a very good experience with that. We established a GIS server in Abu Dhabi municipality, which contains everything, around 3,000 control points covering Abu Dhabi, Western region, and Al Ain, with all coordinate system WJS84. We are updating the GIS server monthly. We are connecting the GIS server of Abu Dhabi municipality with other authority like electricity, water, drainage, اتصالات. So you can have the information in one place, which will be easy and accurate. Thank you very much. I finished already. I don't give a lot of information of surveying because it is very complicated, and I prefer to receive the questions and answer. It will be more better to give the information. Or cross-sectioning, or topographic maps, or the digital terrain modeling, which is more accurate and electronic.
Eventually, you can define the catchment area accordingly.
Definitely.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is not about regarding the ground survey, but rather than another thing. The digital terrain models available from the satellite imagery, like the SRTM and the ASTER. Do you know about it?
Actually, the digital terrain modeling is creating based on the surveying data. Meaning to say that I can create a digital terrain modeling even using a ground survey instrument like a total station. But to minimize the times and to hide the accuracy, we are using GPS. Because GPS, which is dependent on the satellite, is more, working more accurate and more fast. But some places, as I mentioned before, that with amount of between the high-rise building or in the congested area or in the bad weather, where we cannot receive the signal from the satellite, GPS cannot be work. But terrain modeling can be created based on survey data, whatever the source of this survey data.
Thank you. This is not my question. My question is, there is the ground survey, maybe not ground survey.
This is what you are talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
This laser scanner is a high technology methods in surveying so far, but it is costly. So there are a lot of consultancy and companies not preferring to use this technology because it is costly. Moreover, it's usually used by government or authority. This can be also the software which is processing the data capturing from the site is very expensive, and few people who are aware about use it. Myself, I use it once in all of my life in Al-Muqattam, in Cairo, to monitoring the cracking in the mountain. That's only what I did before for this technology. But there are laser and laser scanner, mobile mapping, and photogrammetry also. Aerial photos for this can be maintained, can extract all the surveying data aside from the ground survey instrument.
For the bathymetric study and the land survey, is there any relation between them?
Relation between?
Bathymetric study.
Bathymetric study.
Yes, and the land survey. Is there any relation?
Yeah, there are a relation between that. Because also before starting a bathymetric survey, you should have a ground control point on the ground.
Yes.
So this is, you can say that this is a start point. But my
The sea and all four, and we have to use it to be matching together.
it should be matched.
Yeah.
It should be matched. As I told before, that bathymetric survey is starting from the ground survey. So we give them the start and they do their work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all the questions. So thank you to Mustafa.
Thank you very much.
We're just breaking for coffee now. Terry, do you have any?